Hey, this is Steve from LegitTechTutorials, and welcome back to Intro to Computers. Today we're going to be talking about power supplies. And power supplies are exactly how they sound. They basically supply your entire computer with sufficient power to all your electrical equipment in order to have your computer run very stable and also hopefully without any problems. Like I said, stable. So, as you see here, we're at Newegg at the landing page for power supplies. So go shop all stores, computer hardware, power supplies, and you get to this page right here. Now, this is one of the three most important parts about power supplies. Power supplies, three things that matter to you. Number one is whether it's modular or not, which you'll see in a second. Number two is the wattage that it puts out, as your computer requires a certain wattage. And number three is the plus energy efficiency rating on it. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So this guy right here is basically the efficiency of the power supply, and this is a how can I say, a company or an organization that allows power supplies to be certified. Determined by their efficiency. So if they're on or at idle, it will determine if you're wasting any power that's not getting used. So technically, the higher the energy efficiency of the power supply, the more money you save on your energy bill. So it tends to be more expensive. So let's go ahead and take a look at this right now, because this is a big factor, especially if you have something like a storage PC or a gaming PC, such as like how I run mine. It's on like almost all day long. So, I'm doing something on it almost all day long. So it's like, it's really a good idea to go with the efficiency. So this guy, I think I clicked on, okay, so this is platinum. So this is the best that you can get is platinum. And you see it is pretty expensive for this type of power supply. But that's kind of all you need to know, and you'll need to look up the differences between the two, because it might. Okay, so let's just look at a comparable. So here's a 760 watt. Let's go to 80 plus gold. Look for a 760 watt. As you see, it's almost like $30 more expensive. Because so it was a 760, here's a 700, this is 100. This is 140. So it's an extra $40 more expensive just to jump between these two. And here it's an extra $10 less, it looks like, from here to here. So $10 from here to this one, and then another $40 from this one to this one. And let's look at this guy. We're looking for a 750. Now these are not very efficient power supplies at all. You see there are some in here. These are just lower grade stuff. And also you see it's actually more expensive. Even though this is just standard plus certified, it's not platinum or anything. So you'll probably want to go with platinum or gold, as bronze is only $10. Gold is only $10 more than bronze, and you'll definitely get your money's worth, as this is like an 800 watt system. It's a little different if most systems are at least average 650. So if you have a 650 watt and it's on all day and it's not very efficient, and you're running it like that for the whole year, is a lot different than if you have a 45 or 50 watt light bulb and you leave it on all year. It's a lot of difference as far as the wattage is concerned. So the money could really add up quickly, and that $10 would obviously pay for itself very quickly. So let's just go ahead and jump in the gold and go ahead and look at some stuff here. Let's go ahead and jump into the Roswell. Alright, so now we're going to be talking about the power supplies, and of course there's not really AMD, Intel, or NVIDIA, AMD here. It's just all the manufacturers of power supplies. So it's kind of, this will power your AMD and Intel machine, or your NVIDIA and AMD machine. So it doesn't really matter. Alright, so the first thing that you want to look at is right here you see the wattage. Alright, so how do you determine the wattage for your system? Remember when we went to graphics cards and it said minimum wattage? you usually want to run off that and just give an extra 50 watts or whatever. So if it says for your graphics card a minimum of 450 required, I would go with a 500 watt. But if you do that, you restrict your expandability. So if you want to run SLI on 2 cards, you will have to look up how much power that is. For me, I reserved that headroom for if I want to upgrade, which I realize is kind of a mistake now because this is my benchmark PC, and I want it to be an average PC, and average people don't have SLI. So if you're just going to one-run card and you're happy with that one card, I would go with whatever that card is, add an extra 50 watts, and you should be okay. And add an extra 100 watts if you want to be really safe. But that should be just fine. So an average of 650 is usually great, especially for gaming. And then here is the operating temperature. Intel has well ready, even though all of these are. And then you're going to look for this. Make sure that has a 12-volt rail. And then what you're going to want to look for, see up to 92% for gold certified. So, I mean, platinum is probably like 98%. And then you want to look at the size of the fan, etc., etc. Obviously, you want to go into the specifications and look at the size. This guy is the size. So ATX 12 volt is the size of the of what case it could fit in. But usually, it fits in. Most just fit in an average case. Not unless you're getting into the 1500 watt or the 1400 watt, the really, really long ones. Then it's a lot different. Also, you see 7-year warranty. So it's the fan. Main connector is 24 pin, which is the standard ATX. Single 12 volt rail. So 4 connectors plus 1 8 pin. That goes to your motherboard. Goes to your processor. So you also want to look at these, like what it has, right? And this is also not modular. So you see modular is no. So basically what modular is, let me see if I could actually even get a picture of it. There we go. So this is what modular is. When it says modular is no, you have this, you cannot remove any of these that you're not using. So you have to hide them inside of your case, and that could disrupt airflow. It could potentially, short the ground, which is which is almost impossible to happen, but it could cause some problems. It's like disrupt airflow, and also it makes cable management very, very difficult. So I would definitely go with the modular one, as most people do. Not unless you're going to use every single one of these, then I would do that. But most of the time you want to go with modular. So it says that everything's got that support, no modular, above 87%, up to 92%. And over voltage protection, input voltage, input current, all the outputs, medium time between failure, 100,000 hours at 25 degrees Celsius, max load. Okay, here's the dimensions. Make sure it can fit in your case. Single strong 12 volt rail, ideal for gaming systems. So that should be plenty fine for your fans and stuff. So also, let me see, SATA connectors, SATA power connectors for all your drives. It has 8, which is usually a lot. I'm only running 4, and 4 is a lot. So you see, they're just going to be sitting around your case. Now let's go over modular, because modular is a big deal. Usually it has a little pin here that you could select. Right here, modular. So let's look at modular and then fully modular. Usually modular means that this is just a 450 watt. Usually modular means that some are permanent and some you could attach. See how some of these are permanent, but there's also plugs where you could add additional rails if you need to. And here are the additional rails sitting there. So you have a SATA power cable that goes into that slot. You have another couple SATA power cables. You have some 12 volt Molexes. And you have a PCI Express one right there. So this is a 450 watt, and you see that's modular. So you see how much space you're going to be saving already by just plugging in what you need and leaving everything else out. But obviously you need to store those outside of your computer, so you need somewhere to store them. Okay, so let's go back and let's go into a fully modular. So here we go. Here's like a pretty sweet looking MZXT. And if you look on the back now, it is completely barren. There's nothing plugged in. And then you look here, and here's all your rails laid out. So here we have Molexes. So these go into fans. The 4-pin Molexes go into fans. SATA connectors, SATA power connectors go into your drives. More Molexes, more SATA connectors. That looks to be your PCI Express connectors. PCI Express. One of these is an 8-pin. Here's a 24-pin to a 24-pin. One of these is an 8 that goes in your board. Anyways, so you see how many combinations you have, and usually, and most of the time, you could plug these in at different locations. So if you want to keep it low in your power supply, you could start from the bottom to the top. So same thing here. Of course, 24-pin, you don't really have the choice. And then also, like I said, these don't disrupt airflow as much, and it's really helpful for cable management, so you get everything hidden away, and like I said, maximize your airflow. So that is basically it. It's very, very quick for power supplies here. Like I said, all you need to look for is 3 things. You need to make sure that you have the right wattage. So I would look up other reviews. Usually what I do is I just do 50 watts more than what the video card recommends. So like I said, go into specifications on your video card. Let's look at that really quick. Let's look at like a 760. So a 760, it says right here, minimum system requirements 500 watts or greater with a minimum of 30 amps on the plus 12 volt rail. So what you want to, that's on the PCI Express rail. So yeah, so I'd go like 55, 60, or even 65 to definitely be safe, and maybe be able to have some expandability as far as a physics card or a second 760, but you need to make sure that you research what power supply you need for 2 and SLI. So that's basically it. So you look here, you want to find out how many watts. So this is 500 watts, so I'd go like 550, 600, 650, and that's about it. And then, like I said, you want to determine whether you want to go 80 plus gold or platinum. I would just totally skip these two. I would just either go gold or platinum. So it depends if you want to spend that $30, or it could not be $30 or $40. It could be less than $40, but it looks like basically from bronze to gold is $10. So I would go with gold, which is 82 to not, which on one of those as example was 82 to 92% efficiency, and you can see the efficiency there. I mean, if I do my calculator here, and we say it's 650 watts times 0.82, that's 650 minus 533. So that's a possibility that you're wasting, 117, right? 117 watts that aren't being very efficient. So if you have 90, if let's say 80 plus plat, which was probably doesn't even say, it's probably like 98% or something. Yeah, right, like 93%. So it's 92 plus. So that is, let's say another 650 watt times 0.93 is equal to 605. So that's 46. That's 45.5. So that's 45.5, right? Rather than 9. What was it? It was 117. So that's like half. So I would go with plat, as you definitely save a lot of electricity, but it will cost you a good premium. But because they're more efficient, they use less power when they don't need it. it will be a lot less heat, thus making the parts last longer for most occasions. And most of the time, some of these power supplies don't even have their fans turn on because they run so cool. They're so well made now. Alright, so that's basically it. We'll be definitely going over it a lot more when we build a PC of our own and when that tutorial comes around. So yeah, this has been Steven from LegitTechTutorials. Thank you for watching this video on power supplies. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it in this series and other series as well. I'm going to be working on some text for this particular one so that I could add in things that I learned along the way. So be looking for that in the description, and I'll probably make a video announcing that as well. So subscribe for that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Peace.